Hello, today we're going to go over how to set up employees in Future POS. Setting up employees in Future POS is a very easy thing to do. The main thing that you want to look at is what employees are in the system already that are similar to the employee that you're adding. If you're adding a kitchen person, find a kitchen person to use as a template. Same thing goes for a server, a bartender, or whatever it is that that person is going to be working with. So let's say, hypothetically, we have a new employee today and we need to get them into the system. First thing we're going to do is open up the back office. Under your dashboards, you will have an icon for employee. If you do not see an icon for employee under your dashboards, under maintenance, you can go to employees. Log into the back office, and then employee maintenance will come up. In this database, we have only just some default employees that are in here, but in your database, you might have a whole bunch of employees under 100 for servers, 200 for bartenders, and so on and so on. So I'm going to go ahead and just quickly create a few employees so you can see the process here. So this is number 400 is the default number for the support staff in your restaurant. These employee IDs and numbers may not exactly match what it is that you have in your system for your specific setup. So what I'm going to go in here is I'm going to create myself as an employee, typing my first name and my last name, and clicking File, and then Save As 401. What I did there was just increment the number that I used as a copy up by 1. So let's go ahead and create John Smith. Let's do Terry Bradshaw. Okay. Save as. So now if I go to click this down arrow here, you're going to see the original number that was there. Support staff is still there. We didn't erase it. See 401, 402, and 403. Now, if there are no wage differences in between the individuals that you used to copy and the new employee, then you don't have to change anything else. The employee is ready to go. When you use the Save As function, when also you use an employee that's already in the system, it pulls the class, it pulls the cash drawer settings, it pulls the pay rate info, and it pulls everything else from that employee, their front-end password and their security level, and just uses all the same stuff and saves the new name as a new person. That's what the Save As function is going to do for you there. So let's talk about what some of these settings do here. We have a setting of clock in only here. The clock in only setting for class, these are going to show how it is that your system is going to interact with that employee. Do not confuse classes with job codes. Job codes are for reporting and for assigning individual different pay rates and things like that to individuals. Let's just bring up class maintenance real quick so you can see the settings there under class maintenance. So this is class maintenance. Pay period, reference date. So is this a weekly employee or is it a bi-weekly employee, and so on and so on. We have scheduled punch rules in here. So if you're using the scheduling module and you want to set up an employee to have a lockout no more than 15 minutes before their scheduled shift, are they allowed to clock in? That's where you would do that. You also have whether or not the employees get reports when they clock out, like a server or a bartender. You might not want reports to be printing out for people like a support staff person. No report is set up under a support staff person. You also have the settings here for salary and hourly. Most people will be hourly. If you have salary related managers and all of them are salary, then if you click on the manager, you're going to see that they're set for salary. This is going to affect how some reports would show the hours that the managers would work. So that is essentially class maintenance. So let's go back in under our employee maintenance and go over a few other things. Back office password. If you're setting somebody up as a manager or somebody that does require a security clearance, the back office password would need to be typed here. It needs to be a password with at least one capital letter and a number and 7 digits, and you would need to type it twice here in order to set that. Cash drawers. Future uses virtual cash drawers for everybody in order for them to be able to close checks on individual terminals. So when you do set up employees, if you want them to be able to close checks at individual terminals, then those employees would have to be set up with all the cash drawers. Just as a reminder, as long as you use a server or a bartender to set up the new employee, then all of these settings would get pulled over automatically. Pay rate info. This is probably the one that you're going to come in the most. So as you can see, the cashier has no default base rate of pay or no overtime rate of pay here. So if their cashier was getting paid $8.50 an hour, I can put in base rate $8.50. I don't have to put in an overtime rate, and I can click OK. As you can see, Future is going to automatically calculate what the overtime rate is based off of whatever your local laws are. In Connecticut here, it's 1.5 times over 40 hours, so that's what Future is going to automatically calculate. The other thing you may do here is if a person works more than one job code, so cashier, and they are also working in the kitchen, and the kitchen will be $13 an hour, and then maybe they're also a driver, and as a driver, then $1 an hour because of the tips, then that's of course a joke, and then you would click OK, and if you went back into pay rate info, then you would see that the system automatically calculated that information for you. It will copy the pay rate info from the other employee that you use as a template. So if this employee gets paid different than the employee you use as a template, you definitely want to remember to come in here and make those adjustments. You can also use Future as like a digital Rolodex to keep track of all your addresses, social security number, city, state, zip code. So you can profile that stuff in there. You can also put their cell phone number and their cell phone provider in here. So 5212, and then their cell phone provider, and then that would basically be used when you're using the text message features of Future POS. That's also what you can put the email address for down here. So if you want to be able to send emails through the communication or the alert system built into Future, the email address would get loaded here. The alert preference is related to those cell phones or those email addresses for communication. If you would rather them get their alerts through text message, choose that, or emails, choose that. FEPass, this number is for their front end password, or what they use to sign into the POS terminals. If someone needs to get this changed, let's say somebody learns a manager's number and you need to change that number, there's no need to change their employee ID. They can just come into here and they can change their front end password to another number, and that would be the number that they would be using to log in. Security level is associated to the button security level on the front end. So the manager functions button has a security level of 99 on it. This employee at 403 as a support person has a security level of 10. They would not be able to access a button that has a security level of 99 set on it. This is used to lock people out of manager functions or lock people out of offline credit card mode or whatever it is that you'd like to do with that. If you have any additional questions about employee maintenance or you're having some issues, feel free to give us a call to support at option 2, and have a good day.